Hi and welcome to your early morning habit tracker. This is a tracker that I did that incorporates some habits that I've gained throughout the years, whether it was when I read about the miracle mornings and the routine that they suggest that you do, or from the writing that I do every morning as part of the Artist Way. So this is a tracker that tracks 8 core habits that all help towards having better mornings. And it's there to help you track what you're doing and what you're not doing. It is not meant to be a tracker of do all the things all the time. I will even show you how to remove some of the habits if it's just not something that you want to focus on. And it really is just to see like what periods of life do you have time to do everything in the morning and which ones don't you? And then you can compare that with whatever else is going on in your life and see if it actually does support you or not. So let's dive into it. I will show you first how to use the main dashboard, how to use it on an everyday basis. And afterwards, I will show you how to customize different parts of the template so that it can work for you. All right, so this is the main page that you access when you duplicate the template. If you're already in the template, that probably means you are right here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I will put the link in the description so you can access the template easily if you choose to get it. Now, the main part of it, what you'd use on a daily basis, is this dashboard. So this is a view that puts together everything from these databases. You delete any of these databases, the dashboard won't work quite the way it is meant to. So let's first dive into this. This is what it looks like when you first open it. As you can see, there's some data here. This is all data that I've put in so you can see how it works, but you can delete it after, or you can choose the option of duplicate the template without any content. So it will be empty. It will have all the functions you need, all the automations, the buttons, they all work, but you won't have fake daily log entries. One of the things I suggest you do with this template is to go on the top right and select the little star to put this in your favorites. This means it will end up in your sidebar. So if I just go here, right over here, so it's easy to access. Now, there's 2 important buttons. We're keeping this really simple. This one is to add today's date, and so that you can start tracking your day and do some of the exercises too. You'll see I've put in so you can do practice your affirmations and visualization, and you have space to journal all within this entry. And then there's also a button to add yesterday's habits, because if you're anything like me, once in a while you'll forget to do it, you'll have a busy day, but you always have time to add yesterday's habits really quickly. So let's start with today. So if I click it's a new day, it will automatically populate with today's date here and there. It's empty right now, your daily progress, because you haven't checked anything. And then what you will see as you scroll down is that there is a section for affirmations. Right now it is filtered to show you only affirmations about gratitude. When we talk about affirmations later, I'll show you how to decide which topic you want to focus on. And then we've got your visualization, your big dreams. So this is about looking into the future, what you're working towards. And finally, it just says your thoughts, but this is a space where you can start writing what you want. Okay, you can journal here. So there you go. So that's what a daily entry looks like. What you can do is, as you go throughout the day, or as you put in the entry, especially if you do that later in the day, or for the yesterday one, you basically take off what you've had time to do. This morning I drank water, there was no early morning sun, it was a rainy day. I didn't really have time to do any of that. I did journal and I did exercise. So I've got that there, and that's it, it's done. I can close it and I'm back here. If you have your own Notion workspace and you have a different page you start your day on, what you can do, you can even use this button, click on the 6 dots here, do duplicate, and then move that second button to your main page. Or you can even just do click link to copy block, copy that button in the space that you want, and you can access this really easily. All right, let me show you how to add yesterday's logs and habits. So I forgot to add yesterday's. I'll click here. It will automatically say yesterday's date here, and this calculates the date before today, so you don't even need to worry about that. So I can say, okay, yesterday was a beautiful day. I had time to get in the sun. I actually had time to meditate. and do all of this, but I didn't exercise or read any book. So I'm going to leave it at that. And as you can see, there's all the affirmations are here because I haven't filtered it for this one. But that way we've got today's habits are there in yesterday's. In the main dashboard, I'm also showing you your top habits for this month. So it's the number of times you've done something, and it's sorted from the most popular one to the least popular one. And then you can see your daily progress over time. That is how many habits did you do every day. 8 is the maximum because that's what we've set. That's the number of habits I've got in this tracker. If you decide to add or subtract one, then that will change that. But that way you get to see a bit the ups and downs of your schedule, and that way, especially if you like to look back into the past when you're planning your future to see, oh, is there trends? Maybe on the weekends I hit less, or maybe on the weekends that's when I can hit everything. That simply allows you to do that. So this is your main dashboard. A lot of those elements, that it's a new day, add yesterday's habits, like I said, you can copy those and paste them somewhere else in your workspace and it should still work. Now, let me show you how each of the databases is set up, and within those explanations, you'll also see how you can customize each of those. All right, first up, we've got your daily log. So that's the daily entry with the checkboxes for everything that you've got. What you can see right now is probably a bit overwhelming. It's the calendar view for your whole month so that you can see which days have been filled out. That way, when a day is empty, it becomes pretty obvious that something's missing and maybe you want to fill it out later, or maybe you just leave it as is and only the days you've tracked are going to be included in the progress. From this is where I've set up the views of the progress. You've got this month's progress where you see the ups and downs, and last month's progress. Over here you've got all of the logs, so it's just a long list. It is currently sorted as the latest to be entered at the top and the oldest one at the bottom. If you want to change that, the sort thing is right here, so you can decide what to do. You can even filter and just decide, I just want to see this month's. That's up to you. Now, I showed you earlier when you open the daily log, there's the affirmation section and the visualization. That's because I've set it so that there would be templates. So let me show you where you can find the templates and customize those. So if you click here, the default is the today template. There's one for yesterday and one that says new date. New date doesn't put the date automatically as your title, so that's up to you to decide which one you want to choose. And if you do change a setting in one of the templates, like I'm going to show you, so if you edit today's template and it's something that should be applicable to the yesterday as well, you need to go and edit each of those templates. So let me show you here, and we're going to edit today's. You know you're editing a template when there's the yellow bar at the top. If there's no yellow bar, you're just editing one entry, not a template that can be applied to other new entries. So over here you'll see everything that was set up. So the things that you will probably want to customize is over here in the affirmations. I've got about 30 affirmations in this template, and they're all grouped within one of those 6 topics. So you may choose, hey, right now it's creativity, or it's abundance, or it's both of them that I want to focus on. So you get to pick which one you want to focus on. Now I've got the Save for Every button. Some people get it, some people don't. Depends if you work with other people within your Notion. So if you don't see that, don't worry, it's completely fine. So here I've got it for abundance. So that's how I sort out which affirmations I want to focus on. So every time there's a new day, I will only see the ones with that theme. Similar thing for the goals. For goals, instead of sorting by a theme, you'll see in the goals when we talk about it in a little while, there's a status. It's either a goal that's a future goal where you're not focusing on it right now, but you still want to have it there to remember. There's the manifesting, what you're working on actively right now, and the achieve. So there might be a goal at one point where you'll need to move from manifesting to achieved. So over here, I'm putting just the ones we're working on right now, because this is your daily page. You really only need to focus on right now. You don't need to focus in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years time. Now is what's important for your daily page. And then just below, it says your thoughts, and it's where you can write down. You could move that heading more to the top so you journal before you work on your affirmations or journaling. You may also want to do your journaling some other way. For me, when I do my journaling, it's pen and paper. So I don't do my journaling in Notion, but I will tick off whether I have done it or not. So this is basically how you can customize the page for every day. And as I said, you need to make sure that if you make changes to today, you make it to yesterday as well. Now there is one more thing to show you. What if you're looking at this and you think, that's a lot of habits, that's 8 things. I don't have time for 8 things, but I still want to track a few of those. So if you want to remove any of those habits, it's very simple. You can go on any of those columns, right click, and simply do delete property. It will delete that completely from the database. The other thing you'll want to do if you remove some property is you'll want to click on daily progress over here and edit the formula. You'll want to remove the habit that you're not focusing on from the plus sign all the way to the start of 2 number. And also you will want to, this 8 will need to change to the number of habits you have total. So if you've removed 2, the 8 changes to 6. Just doing that should fix it. If you have a plan with AI, you can also even just explain here saying, hey, I removed those 2 habits. Can you update this formula? And it should do it for you. It should get it pretty well. So this is how you can customize what you're logging, what you're going to keep track of. And then this is also how you're going to customize the different templates. Now next, I'm going to show you how we get a bit of a total of all those habits, how we're tracking progress over time. All right, right now we are in the My Habits database. This is one database that is linked to your daily log. And because of automations that I've set up already in the daily log, whenever you check a box, it adds it to this database so we can keep track of how many times you've done something, when was the last time you did it, and we can have a bit more information about your progress. So over here you'll see in the all habits data that you've got the same habits that we're tracking, and for each of them I've added when was the last time you did it, the frequency total, how many times have you done this, and that's total overall. So it's not even just this year or this past month, it's how many times do you have an entry that has that box checked. Over here we've got what is this month's frequency, so how often did you do this habit this month, and then over here we have last month's frequency. A lot of those are formulas based on roll-ups, which are based on relations, which get populated by automations. So if you're a Notion newbie, do not touch any of these because they may break, or if you want to play around with those ones, please send me an email or something like that so I can help you figure it out. The other views that you can see of your habits, it's the same that you can see on the main page, but I've got not just the this month of how many times did you do each of the habits, I've got last month's as well, and then we've got the habit frequency, that's the total number of times, so that you can see over a longer period of time which habits are your most popular ones and which ones tend to fall off the track. So this is simply a database to help us track what's going on with the habits. It is not the database that logs them. That's what your daily log is for. Now next, let me show you how you can customize your affirmations database. So these are affirmations that I've gathered over the time, especially within the theme of doing the artist way, which is another one of my popular templates and just a process I enjoy doing a lot. And a few of them are just affirmations that make sense to me, that motivate me, and they're grouped by different themes. So I will just show you how it is. It's basically just one big database of affirmations with an image, so it can look pretty, so you can really focus on something visual when you're working on your affirmations. Over here you see it says all affirmations, so they're mixed up, they're a little bit all over the place. If you click on the second tab by focus, you will see the different themes. So I've got abundance, creativity, gratitude, growth, resilience, and self-confidence. If you want to change any of them, you can definitely like open this one and change the name, change the sentence. To be able to change the image, you will have to create it yourself. There is a button in the main template page that says Get Canva Template. It gives you access to the template that I use, that I made to make all of those affirmations, so that you can copy it, and then make any changes you want to do. You'll have to download the image and then re-upload them. Over here you'll do change, upload, and then you upload your new affirmation. So this is how you can change which ones you want. If you want, you can even add some new focus, so some new themes of what you want to focus on to help you decide which ones show up in your template of your daily log, which ones are important for you to focus on right now. And now the last piece of the puzzle, let me show you how it all works for the big goals database, and that's part of the visualization part of a morning routine. Okay, so this is the last piece of the puzzle, and it is to help you with the visualization aspect of it. Visualizing is usually just taking a moment to think about how things are going to happen in the future. It can be thinking about a day in the far future. It could be even just about visualizing how's your day going to go today, according to maybe some of the affirmations you worked on, even just being reminded of some of the bigger dreams that you've got. And so I tried to make sure that this had some visuals and some stories that could really help you decide what to focus on. Now there's a few ways you can look at these big dreams, and maybe you already have goals. You might want to link your goals to those. So I've got them by status. I explained it a bit earlier. So dreaming are like really long-term visualization, things that maybe you're not actively working on every time now, but it's something that you know you want for yourself in the future. The manifesting is what you're working on right now. So if you're not a fan of the word manifesting, you can change that word to in progress or something like that. But it's what you're actually actively doing daily, your reason for what you're doing right now. And achieved, those are goals that you were dreaming about that you have finally been able to get to. I've also made it so you can search by them by different life areas. So I've got one per life area. These are some that I've used when I do my general goal planning and all that. You can change that however you want to. Maybe there's some categories that don't apply to you. Some of them you might want to remove. Customize as you want. Now just to show you what they look like when we open them. When I open them, I have added the photo here is in the cover. Right now, these are just generic images from Unsplash. You can make your own. The more personal it is, the more linked to you it is, probably the stronger your visualization is going to be, because it's not just an image plucked out of nowhere, it's something that makes sense to you. So over here, we've got a general statement about your visualization. We're saying what area of life it's about, what's the status, and then the vision. It's a couple of lines that explain how you feel about that goal. Right now, it's just 2 or 3 lines. Some of them you'll see there's nothing in there. I leave it up to you to build how you want. You can write a whole paragraph if you want to. You can even use the rest of this page to start planning towards that, add links to your projects or whatever you want. But the important part here in terms of a morning routine and spending a few times visualizing, having that visual clue of the image that makes sense to you, and then a short explanation of the vision of what is it that you really want. That's part of visualization in terms of if you have a routine that's similar to the Miracle Morning and they talk about visualization. If you want a more active way to meditate, to just think about something and focus about something, this is just a way to kind of focus your energy for a few moments, take a minute to reread them, remember what you woke up for, remember what your day is going to be about, what you're working towards. We sometimes need reminders to be able to have a good day, a good week, or just get out the door. So this is the space for you to do that. All right, that's about it for the different parts of the template. I've got one last thing to show you as well. All right, so we're back at the main template page where you will see everything. So just to reiterate, because it's really important, these core databases are needed for this template to work. And then this is your dashboard. This is what brings it all together. So once you've seen this video, you've used it for a couple of times, you don't need to keep that whole page, but you do need to make sure that these databases are moved to a safe spot in your workspace, and this page as well. So before you delete this explainer video and everything that comes with it, make sure you've selected these 4 Let me try to do it. No, not all of that. All right. So each of these, actually, select them, select all 4 if you can, and then do move to and move it to a safe spot within your workspace. Do the same thing with this one. And as I said, with the dashboard, you may want to put a star on it so it becomes a favorite. Once you've done that, this core page, everything else that's on it, you don't need to use it. You could delete that as long as everything else has been moved to a safe space. If you want to see any of my other templates, you can see them here. I mentioned a few times the Artist Way. Click there, it'll take you to there. Or if you have a question, something's not working, it's broken, or you really want to get in the nitty-gritty of the formulas of the My Habits database, send me a message here. That's just my email. Email me, I'll get back to you. And I hope that this habit tracker will help you set good mornings, start new habits, or even just have an idea of how your mornings are built. What are you doing during your morning? What are you skipping on? Thank you for downloading my template, and I hope you enjoy.